Guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always, MMA UK BJJ show. So, talking about Grapplefest 14. So, Grapplefest 14 is going to be at the usual place, Fusion Nightclub, Fleet Street in Liverpool. Now, that's going to be Saturday, 3rd of December. So, just 13 days away now. So, from probably one of the biggest events of the year. We always say this. I mean, we always talk about this Grapplefest is the best, and then suddenly Chris Thompson brings out another card, and it's better than the last one, and so on and so on. So, an absolute mad scientist of a matchmaker is our Chris Thompson. So, again, atmosphere at Grapplefest. I mean, everybody will tell you, from the grapplers to the spectators to anybody that's been around a Grapplefest event, will tell you that the atmosphere is unbelievable. I know that obviously watching at home, people watching on pay-per-view is brilliant to watch, but actually being there in person is something special. So it always makes for a special evening. Now, ticket availability, head over to the Grapplefest Facebook page, and it will take you through and get the ticket details through there. And anybody that is not able to make the event, as I mentioned, pay-per-view is always available for Grapplefest. It's going to be on Fight TV, so make sure you do either be there in person or get that pay-per-view. So, going to be another amazing night put on by the Grapplefest team. Now, my next guest is going to be on the show that night. So, Grapplefest veteran already. So, Mark Wynne of Trident Martial Arts. Mark's unbelievable to watch. As I said, anytime I watch Mark, he's definitely a fan favourite. People love to see him. I love to see him on the Grapplefest match. So again, this one is going to be no different at all. It's going to be up against a tough Sam Baker of Smooth Flow Academy. And again, Sam Baker, also another Grapplefest veteran. And yeah, these two are going to put on an absolute show, as they both always do. So Mark, listen, absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me.
Thanks for having me back on, mate. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time.
Listen, this is a regular thing, me and you.
I know, yeah, third time now, yeah. It's getting quite frequent, isn't it?
Listen, I love it. Always love chatting with you. Always love keeping up to date with you, and seeing the things you're doing. So, and obviously being on Grapplefest. I love seeing you on Grapplefest, being on one of the kind of biggest stages in Europe for any grappler to be on.
I know it's mad, isn't it? Because, you know, Grapplefest veteran and fan favourite are probably words that I never thought would be used to describe me when I got into jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that I do work hard, I train hard, but, you know, to get to this level and to be included on the cards that I've been on in the past, it's been really, you know, I appreciate the fact that Tomo and the team have got me on there. And you know, the guys that I compete against and alongside, it's a fantastic experience, and one I'm really grateful for.
Definitely. I'd say we always love seeing you. I mean, let's talk about obviously the big thing then, the last Grapplefest. So obviously, again, anybody that saw, as I said, obviously, unfortunately, Mark got caught in I believe it was a toe hold, and you rolled into the way they rolled off the mat, rolled into the toe hold, and obviously got quite a bad injury. And tell us about that. Tell us about what happened and what the recovery's been like for you coming back from that.
I just made the mistake and paid the ultimate price for it, really. I was sort of, you know, I thought leg locks were my way to victory in the Ashley Wag match, and I just sort of was like tunnel vision on this leg lock, kept getting into the different positions. He's obviously, you know, he's tough as nails, isn't he, Ash? Great guy, tough as nails. I just couldn't get that heel exposure, and I kept digging, and I just didn't protect my own legs, and I sort of over rotated, left my foot there wide open for the toe hold, and you know, sort of, as I say, tunnel vision was like the heel hook sort of beats toe hold if you think of the hierarchy of submissions, maybe. But with the 50-50 position, I couldn't roll out of it. My legs were trapped, and I'd made my legs get trapped, and I paid that ultimate price, and sort of it just went on. You know, I said to Ash, as soon as we gripped up in that first exchange, I felt his strength, and it's no wonder he snapped my ankle, because he was strong, man. Obviously super skilled and technical as well, but you know, my ankle just went, and that was it, mate.
Yeah. One thing as well, we got to give shout out to Ash, because obviously, and again, I've said this. I mean, when obviously they knew that what had happened, or his team, his corner knew what had happened. All the spectators that had come to see him, they were all kind of celebrating because obviously he'd won the match. But Ash had went over and was telling them all, look, do you know what I mean? Don't do this. Don't be shouting. Don't be screaming and stuff like that. So,
I
so
I
definitely a lot of
think,
respect to Ash for that.
yeah, he was aware of the severity of it straight away, and he calmed his boys down, and they're right to be excited, man. Their guys just won. On a massive stage, they're going to be celebrating, and from maybe the corner of the mat that they were in, they couldn't see what had happened, but it's all good. Like,
yeah. One thing as well, everybody talks about. We laughed about this before we came on here, is obviously that had happened to Matt. Matt went to the hospital. Obviously got checked out, got all sorted, got put on plenty of painkillers, stuff like that, and made his way straight back to the venue on crutches. And again, everybody talks about it, not just here in the UK. I mean, all the way the Daisy Fresh guys are all talking about it anytime I speak to them. And people from all over that watched it on pay-per-view were amazed that you came back to the venue.
that hospital experience was one of the most surreal moments of my life, I think. So it was just one of those things. I got painkillered up, got the ankle put back in, got it casted up, x-rayed and all that. And it was just like sort of sent me on my merry way with a set of crutches. And my mate Connor was still there with me. And we were just outside the hospital, sorry. And he pulled out a can of hooch and said, I got that for you for when you won. But obviously it went the complete opposite way. So opened that straight away. And we were just sort of like, what do we do now? Should we just go back? Got an Uber back, and honestly, mate, we couldn't have timed it more perfectly, because it was just as Harry McKnight was out there against Reese, and honestly, I think he just sort of entered that position where he got in on the legs and won. And I think Louise was on the door. She was like, "How have you come back? Have a shot there? Like, I can't believe you've just come back." Everyone's like ushering me to the front row, saying the coach was on, and then. He won and managed to see me there on the sidelines and came over, and it was just a really nice story, and especially sort of, I won't go into too much detail, but the sort of personal work that Harry puts in, not just for me and my match on Grapplefest, but all the students at Trident and all the rest of the coaching staff. I sort of felt like I wanted to be there to witness that, because he'd put the hard work in with me, and I sort of wanted to be there for that as well.
It was a great moment as well, obviously, when he came over and obviously hugged you and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It was an absolutely brilliant moment.
So. all the guys upstairs in the VIP booths thought he'd taken a bit of stick off someone in the crowd and was going to give them a stern word. And then he looked down and saw me, and it went off again. So I don't think I didn't pay for a drink the rest of that night, it's safe to say.
Yes. Oh, listen, it was a very emotional moment. I remember seeing it and thinking, wow. Because I think that was when that happened. I think that was the first time I'd seen you in the building coming back. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking.
Well, that was it. I got there just in time for that. That was just me re-entering the building.
I remember looking down thinking, surely not. And then, do you know what I mean? It was, back, definitely back. But it was brilliant. That's a really, really good moment. Good to see you coming back so quickly. And then, what about your recovery? Tell us about your recovery, because obviously it was a while. It was a good while, but it was very quick. I mean, I remember. I think was it the first time I seen you back on the mat was a seminar.
Yeah. So it was. There's no point in lying. It was tough, mentally and physically. The first sort of, when you're sort of lying on the sofa on your own, like a few days later, and you're still waiting to hear back from the hospital, and all of that kind of thing, like the uncertainty just plays on your mind all the time. I was just like, I've got no idea when I'm going to get back on the mat. I've got no idea when I'm going to be able to get back to work, or even just like go about my day-to-day sort of life. I sent the next day, I sent a selfie of me on the sofa, still in my Grapplefest t-shirt, of course, just saying like, look at this sad man who can't even get up and go for a wee. You know what I mean? It was just all that kind of stuff, like nice bit of feeling sorry for myself. But yeah, it was sort of, once the ball was rolling with the hospital, I kind of got a bit of a clearer idea of what was going on. Back in the moon booth, seeing the physio and stuff like that. I had a conversation with the doctor, and he was kind of saying like, you seem really driven to get the recovery going as quick as you can. And I said, listen, mate, I was like, yes, because I'm losing my mind. I was like, I don't just want to go for operate on me and then I'll sort of get back to it eventually. I was like, give me physio to do now so I can get it as strong as possible, as soon as possible. And as soon as sort of those physio exercises came through, I was doing, 1-2 hours a day, every day. Like clockwork, really. That was one of the first things on my to-do list every day, was to get up, do a few other things. I spoke to a few people behind the scenes in terms of like the mental work, and rather than the first week was sort of like getting up at gone midday, ordering some food in from the Mackies, and then just watching Ozark on Netflix. Do you know what I mean? And then it was sort of like, I can't be doing this for the entire time I'm off the mat. So started getting the routine into play, and it was like, get up, make the bed, have a proper breakfast, not feel sorry for myself, do my physio, and then if I want to like play footy manager and slob out watching Netflix, at least I've done productive things with my day. So that was it really. I think my sort of determination and diligence paid off in the end. And I think from injury to getting back on the mat, it was about 8 weeks. And it was that Ben Poppleton seminar. I said to Steve, one of the coaches, I said, listen, can I just do the seminar and drill, please? Because if I've got to come to the gym and watch that seminar, I'll go mad. Like, I'll just, you know what I mean? So yeah, I was determined, and that was like a sort of nice goal at the end of it. And obviously then after that, my training partners were phenomenal in making sure that I wasn't doing anything stupid when I was getting back to the positional work, getting back to the rolling. And as you've said there, I got back in quite a quick amount of time, which I think surprised a lot of people, and didn't really surprise me, because there was no way I was going to be kept off those mats for like 6 to 8 months, as some people were saying. I was just like, no chance in hell at all.
I remember reposting the Ben Poppleton, because again, once I seen you back in the mat, as I was so happy. I know Ashley jumped in on the comments as well, because he was obviously so happy as well. Because again, obviously we know we go out there and our main aim in grappling or jiu-jitsu stuff like that is to submit the opponent. But obviously we want everybody to go home safe and stuff like that. So I know that when obviously I seen it, and I know Ashley seen it as well, we were over the moon reposting it and saying, oh wow, absolutely brilliant. And I know how determined you are. I know how hard you train. I know how much you put into this. So for me, when I saw it was obviously after 8 weeks, I was like, right, okay, that's quick. But I know that you're not going to sit there for 6, 8 months to a year and not do anything. So
definitely. It's sort of like the mental side of things as well. Like, it sort of makes you realise, like, that was my first major injury. Like, touch wood, it's the last. In terms of, well, just full stop in life, but in grappling as well. And it makes you think, like, your time on the mat is fleeting. Like, you might not be able to roll or train forever. So I was kind of like, well, in the lead up to the Ash match, I'd put a lot of pressure on myself to perform in a certain way and get the win and so on. And then once I'd had that injury, it was like, well, sort of, I need to be back training, not sort of because your identity is attached to being a jiu-jitsu athlete, but it's because it's something that you enjoy is being taken away from you. And at the end of the day, like, you strip things back to the reason you got into it was for something new to enjoy. So it was like, I'm going to go back to that sort of new enjoyment of it. And I think, like, that sort of, I've become a bit of a more mature athlete in the aftermath and as a result of the injury as well. So that was one of the kind of reasons that I wanted to get back as well. I owed it to all the people that had helped me in the rehabilitation as well to get back as quickly as I could. Yeah.
That's the thing a lot of people forget. I mean, especially if you go through an injury, that everybody that's behind you, pushing you, obviously you talk about like maybe physios and obviously your coaches, your training partners, family, friends and stuff like that. So so there's a lot of people involved in the recovery. So yes, and as you said, it's tough, not just physically, but the mental side of things as well is a difficult one for people to get past. I mean, we've seen it in different sports before. So yeah, listen, absolutely buzzing for you to be Grapplefest 14 as well, be a part of this. So, I mean, how did you find out then that you got the call for 14?
It's the usual, man. Like, Tomo's got the group and he says who's available on December 3rd, and maybe me just being super keen and eager, I think I was one of the first people to comment. I was like, yeah, please, I'm itching to get back out there. I'm really looking forward to getting back out there. And you sort of, you don't hear back for a while because he's taking, Tomo's had a lot on, hasn't he? But he's getting those, the main event, those main matches sorted, and then he'll have a look at the prelims. And then, one day I think, I was listening to Sam's interview just this morning after open mat, sort of to see what he'd said, and it was a similar situation. I'd not checked the Instagram messages for a few hours because I was at work, and then just saw Grapplefest has sent you a message, the name Sam Barker, 70 kilos, December 3rd. I was like, yeah, this is what I was hoping for all along. So couldn't have said quicker. I was like, double tap the message to and I was like, yeah, I'll take that match, please. Let's do it.
Yeah. So you're definitely going to get one of the biggest cheers of the night as well. I mean, as I said, so many people are going to be so happy to see you coming out. And again, we talked about fan favourite. I mean, even the times like your first Grapplefest, awesome match. Second one with Ashley, I'd say it was an awesome match up until obviously it finished. And obviously this one's going to be no different. So you're definitely a fan favourite, definitely one that people are going to want to see.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful. I was thinking, you're sort of thinking in the run up to these kind of interviews and podcasts and that kind of thing. Like people are spending their hard-earned cash to come and watch me grapple. Like again, like would I have ever thought of that when I was a white belt? Absolutely not. So I'm massively grateful for the people that are part with the hard-earned cash, especially in the current financial climate. You sort of feel a bit guilty, don't you, asking people to part with the money. But the teammates and the people that want to come and support, it's massively appreciated. And I think when I listen back to that first match on Grapplefest, the commentary, David and Tomo were saying, as I walked down those stairs, I had a massive smile on my face. That's because it was like, I'm really part of this, and people are really here to see me, and people are really cheering for me. It's like, it's such a humbling but also exciting moment, and I'm absolutely, it's overwhelming sometimes, and Sam was saying the same as well, wasn't it? Like backstage rubbing shoulders with all of these greats in the world of grappling, and there's people who've paid a lot of money to come and see you grapple, and it's like, wow, it's go time now, but I'm still going to enjoy the moment while I'm in it. Like, once you slap hands and bump fists, you've got to go. But while you're walking down those stairs and people are cheering, it's like, this is absolutely unreal. Like, this is a class moment. And as, you were saying to Sam, Fusion's a great venue, and the proximity of all the spectators to the mat and the noise that gets generated, it's great. It really is.
I love it as well, man. Obviously, I've competed before, and I always love it when I step on the mat. You know what I mean? You've got your team or your friends and family all screaming for you. But I mean, Grapplefest is something a little bit different because obviously, I mean, that walk down the stairs. I mean, you feel it. You feel it right there as soon as you're walking down the stairs, and it can get quite, as you said, overwhelming or even emotional and stuff like that. I mean, we've looked at some people, and because obviously they've got a lot of people screaming for them, I mean, you can see in their face it's quite emotional. Say like some of the Brazilians and stuff like that, they've come over, some of the Americans or so, and they get really into the moment. So and it's like you ever watch like the WWE, The Rock, when he comes out, he just stands there looking about. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like standing on them mats.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a bit of like a bucket list moment almost, or like, you feel like, wow, I've really accomplished something, because you've got that kind of the pop when you come down the stairs, like the crowd going a bit mad for you. And obviously the other guy that's across the mat from you as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a great night, another great night. Mark, what do we see coming forward then? So obviously Grapplefest will be your main focus. It's been a tough year. It's been a tough year for you. So, but what would you like to be doing 2023 onwards?
I've not thought that far ahead yet, to be honest. I'm kind of going to just take things as it comes. As you say, like I missed out on quite a large part of the competition calendar this year due to being injured. A couple of matches that were lined up but fell through for various reasons on the way back from injury. So I'm just going to, my main target at the moment is Grapplefest. I just, 2 weeks' time, I'm going to go out there and give my best performance to date. And then, enjoy a nice Christmas. And then just see what comes in 2023. If my performance is good enough this time round and I get on a Grapplefest, I think it's maybe in February coming up, then so be it. And if not, then just sort of as many competitions, tournaments as possible. You know, one thing I really enjoyed was Empire in September. I think I was, fought Ross Smith from up your ways twice in the same day, and had two absolutely great matches, and really enjoyed getting back out there into the tournament. So, you know, if Grapplefest isn't on the horizon for 2023, then just as many tournaments as I can, and just sort of prove, you know, I've been saying to a lot of the blue and white belts in the gym, like, get yourself out there at least once, just to learn something new about yourself and what you're capable of. And I want to sort of lead from the front in that way and be as active as I can, because up until injury, I've always sort of prided myself on being quite active as a competitor. So just to regain a bit of that really would be quite nice.
Kids still think you're a legend. The kids at school still think you're a hero.
I don't know. You know, it's a bit of a mad one. I had to sort of like, I bet you that kid who broke your foot thinks he's the man in his gym and all that. Yeah. I'm like, well, he might do, but you know, whatever. But yeah, sort of, you do get the odd sarcastic, like if you're warning at people for behaviour, it's like, oh, don't harm Bobby. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a legend in any respect. Like, that's, you know, definitely an exaggeration, but you know, it gets a good bit of conversation out of some of the people. So
listen, you're a legend in our eyes, definitely, man, definitely a legend. So, and then final thing for you, then, anybody you want to shout out to, any kind of friends, family members, teammates, anything like that?
Yeah, there's a lot, isn't it? I mean, you know, the coaching team at Trident Martial Arts Whittle, first and foremost, for the sort of effort and all of that they put in. Everyone on the coaching team there, everyone at the gym as well, who's given me hard rounds in the build up to this match and just in general. You know, there's been quite a buzz in some of the training sessions, giving me those hard rounds, and it's, you know, I really appreciate it, because I can't get better without someone else to roll against, can I? So, you know, everyone who gives their time up in training sessions, I really appreciate that. I've had a couple of sponsors come on board. So 1812 Supplements and 1812 Sweet Shop have come on board towards the back end of my injury as well, which, you know, it's a bit of a gamble taking a punt on sponsoring an injured fighter. So I do really appreciate Steve and Sarah getting involved there as well, and providing me with some supplements in the run-up. Another bit of a different one as well is Raw and Real Northwest, which is a bit of a sort of men's mental health group. Been doing a lot of work with those guys, you know, the things that they're doing for young men in the Northwest, making sure it's okay for men to talk about the things that are on the mind, trying to get rid of that mental health stigma. Has been really beneficial. You know, I've been on a few, they do like a weekly walk, which I've been on a few of those. And, you know, I'm not worried about saying I've had a few mental health struggles because of being injured, and just in general anyway. So getting to speak to some like-minded young people, and sort of get those things off your chest, they're doing a fantastic thing for young men in the northwest of England. So
So we just waiting on Matt coming back. Chances are he's probably got a phone call, which normally what happens. Obviously the grapplers get a phone call during the interview. So there we go. We got him back.
Yeah. So yeah, I was in the middle of saying about Raw and Real being fantastic, and then you know, just and to Sam for taking the match, and his sort of honesty. You know, he said he's maybe not had the best of training, and he still says he's confident to beat me. So he's still going to bring the best version of himself, and therefore he's, you know, standing across the mat from him means that I'm going to bring the best version of myself. So, you know, if I didn't have a name like Sam to train for, I wouldn't have improved as a grappler over the past 8 weeks. So massive thank you to Sam, and then obviously the team at Grapplefest for getting me back on, which, you know, to get me on that big stage and to get my name out there as a grappler.
Yeah. Definitely. So listen, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'll probably be emotional as well, because I know how much you're invested in what you do, not just for Grapplefest, but jiu-jitsu and grappling as a whole. I know how much you put into it. So for me to see you step back on the mats is going to be brilliant. I mean, I'm going to absolutely love it as well. So it's hard, it's difficult, because as I said this to you before we came on here, the last match against Ash, obviously I love watching both of you. So for me, I was kind of sitting on the fence, because normally I'm like, yeah, I want Matt to win, or I want Ash to win, or Sam, or whoever. But obviously I sat on the fence on that one, and this one's exactly the same because obviously I love your style, love watching you, personality and stuff like that is absolutely brilliant. And then Sam's exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? As I said, I think again I've interviewed Sam 3 times now, 2 or 3 times. So so I love watching both of you. So as I say, for me, yeah, I'm not going to pick a winner in this one at all because do you know what I mean? I just want, obviously both of you are going to go out and put on an absolute performance. So and whoever wins, then yeah, listen, but it's going to be a great night. It's going to be a great
Definitely.
night. So
I think whoever wins out of that match, will have deserved the win, because it'll be a hard fought win for sure.
Yeah,
whoever takes it.
Nah, listen, we're buzzing. We're absolutely buzzing to see you back on the match.
Thank
so,
you.
guys, Mark Wynne, Trident Martial Arts, going to be up against Sam Baker, Smooth Flow Academy. Now, that's going to be Saturday, 3rd of December. So, as I say, we're only, 13 days away. Grapplefest 14, Fusion Nightclub, Fleet Street in Liverpool. Now, again, amazing venue. I mean, Mark obviously mentioned there, talking about the atmosphere and stuff like that. There's nothing better than a Grapplefest evening. Anytime Grapplefest come Fusion Nightclub, it's always an amazing event. So tickets, head over to the Grapplefest Facebook or even the Instagram page.
I've got some as well. I've got plenty. I'll post them out.
Yeah, some of the grapplers I've got still some left as well. So definitely hit up your chosen grappler. Make sure you get your ticket directly from them first. If you can't, if they don't have any left, then I said head over to either the Instagram or the Facebook page, and you'll get details of the tickets there. Pay-per-view, Fight TV, as always. Now, a couple of different payment options on Fight TV. You can get the standalone pay-per-view price, which is $14.99, or you can go for the monthly option. The monthly option is probably the more cost efficient. It's only $4.99. And for that, you get that's per month. So you get all of the Grapplefest events, Grapple Kings, as well as some other grappling shows on there as well. So it's an absolute bargain for $4.99. So $4.99. The pound's terrible at the moment. So against the dollar. So I think it works out at something around about £4.50, £4.60.
Yeah, it's pretty much the equivalent, isn't it? Nowadays.
Yeah, but it's still a bargain. It's still an absolute bargain for what you're getting. So listen, Mark Wynne. Mark, it's always a pleasure. I absolutely love chatting with you. I love hearing what you're up to. I particularly loved hearing about your recovery and obviously your comeback. And as I said, I've been able to watch and see everything that you've been doing on Facebook and Instagram and so on and following it. So yeah, I'm going to be 100% buzzing. I'm probably more excited about this than you are. So I know you are excited, but listen, I'm absolutely buzzing. I know that the crowd as well. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be absolutely buzzing as well. The Pedigo guys are going to be there, so I'm sure they'll be over the moon to see you back.
Yeah, they were brilliant last time, to be honest. Like backstage, like Spatch and all that, sort of buzzing over the fact that I was there with a crutch and all, me crutches and a cast and all that. It was funny. Yeah, made for a good laugh.
Because normally, like us as grapplers, we would go up to like the Daisy Fresh team and we'd be like, oh, can we get a picture? Whereas the Daisy Fresh guys were going to Mark and asking Mark for a picture. So,
I know, it was a bit surreal for sure.
Yeah. So, well, listen, they'll all be buzzing. They'll all be over the moon to see you back on the match as well. But listen, Mark, absolute pleasure as always. Enjoy the rest of your training, and listen, I'll see you on the 3rd of December, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on, listening to me waffling for half an hour about training and whatnot. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Anytime, brother. Anytime. All right. Thank you.